Hello everyone, welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. A different face to the usual introduction. Simon has foolishly let me take over the opening slot. Mostly to mix it up a bit, we're all going to start doing some intros ourselves so that people can get to know us a little more. And yeah, you get to see a bit more of us. So it's my turn today. For anyone who doesn't really properly know, I'm Kate Madison. I play Cora in the show. But I'm also an actor and filmmaker and various things, and you may have heard us talk a little bit about Ren, the girl with a mark, on the show a little bit. We've just launched today a Kickstarter to raise money to make more episodes of the show that I produce, and so the Kickstarter is currently live. We are already at £10,000, which is kind of amazing. So I will possibly be putting the total in the bottom, very small in the bottom of the screen, so you can see it tick up throughout the night. And maybe if we hit an important figure, I'll be pushing to see if our DM Simon will let us get advantage on something or whatever. I don't know. I haven't passed this with him, but I'm in charge right now, so it's all good. Anyways, so go to after you've seen this show, maybe head on over to Kickstarter and type in Ren, the girl with the mark, and see if there's anything there rewards-wise you want to get, and also help spread the word. We're signal boosting all this stuff. Anyway, enough of that. You'll get to see the pitch video when we go for a break. Now back to the Benefactor. So basically, in last week's session, we ended with Aiden and Cora and Farewell leaving behind the others who were organising a bit of a party to celebrate the end of the battle with the demons. And Farewell and Cora both walked into a black void that was this scrying machine in the university. After a conversation with his god, Farewell was taken out of the void. Cora was left tumbling in the darkness. So let's find out what's going to happen on today's episode, shall we?
Yeah. All I have is the name.
Okay, yeah, you need to check.
Hello, everybody,
and
welcome back to episode 58 of the Benefactor. And thank you, Kate, for the intro, and thank you for the one part in there where you said that everybody's going to be doing an intro, and the look of shock on everybody else's faces because I didn't tell them.
Oh,
I do not consent.
okay.
So
Everyone's frozen for me. Why have I?
I thought we had established that consent was irrelevant by this point.
it is always relevant.
Relevant.
Yes.
Kate, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
no, we're not frozen anymore.
Your videos all froze for me for some reason. I've brought the Discord back up. Maybe it was because I minimized. Anyway, we all heard you,
Right.
so it's all good.
Cool.
Okay.
So let's get back into it, and we'll have little chats about Ren as things come up.
Mm-hmm.
Cora, you feel yourself tumbling through absolute nothingness. No sound, no sensation on your skin. You feel as if you might be turning over and over in space, but there's no space, no direction, complete blackness, complete absence of anything. The leaving of Farewell and the screaming of his relatives is a distant memory now that could have happened hours, days, months ago. And all you can feel is the nothingness start to invade your mind. You can understand how anybody who could look into this could go mad. You know where you are, you kind of willingly walked into this, and yet you can see how eventually it's going to completely erase who you are. You can't feel your body decaying, if indeed what you heard between Farewell and his goddess is true. That this is where all matter, all energy, gets broken down into the nothingness from whence it came. But then you can't feel your body either. Not in the way you normally can. A twinge of a nerve, an ache of a knee, just the sensation of your limbs moving, your chest rising and falling with each breath. Nothing. And nothing is all that accompanies you as you tumble further down, down, down. So it comes to you as somewhat of a shock when a sensation suddenly just hits your leg. You haven't even felt your leg, did not even started to doubt that you had legs, until something slaps against it. Maybe a piece of cloth. You wait. Wham! And again. Wham! Wham! And suddenly a hand is gripping hold of you. Not your leg this time, but your shoulder. And one of your ears starts to exist again as this voice goes, Sir Cora, you go to the most interesting and strange of places. Why are you here?
Well, I followed a friend, and then they disappeared.
Ah, jumping into battle. Doing me proud. Doing me very proud. But there are things to do, you know. You must not dally.
Oh, well, it wasn't my intention. I mean, you suggested I came in. Maybe you could suggest I come out? That would be great.
A knight does not win their spurs without vanquishing the situation that they're in. I am merely a spectator here. It is rather fun, after all. Just let go and tumble! The sensation disappears. You no longer have an arm or an ear, and you're back to the blackness that you were in before. And then, what? A second? A month? Your entire life? Suddenly, wham! A pair of arms on your shoulders, a pair of hands on your shoulders again. Sorry about that. It's rather fun. So, what's the plan?
Can I still hear the screams?
No?
Simon?
They are a long distant memory.
Well, I need to find a way to step back.
Ooh, never back. Never back. Terrible habit. Never do it myself. Always forward. Sally forth.
Fine. Sally forth out of this.
That's the spirit.
I will, I'm still clinging to the piece of the music box. I'm gonna reach out for farewell again. Because
Bit of a problem. Got you in the first place, didn't it? But hardly going to get you out. No, this place has got you, I'm afraid. It's very easy to step in with a friend into the, what they call them, fly trap. One of those big pitcher plants. But getting out, much harder. Much harder. Have to address the thing, you see.
Address what?
Well, this. Everything around you. Can't you see? Well, no, you can't really see anything, but this.
No.
You have to defeat this.
This is... all I see is nothing. How can you defeat nothing?
There we go. Now you know your enemy. Ha ha ha!
Then if nothing is to be defeated, then it's defeated already, and so I should step out. And I try and move my legs to step out.
You end up kicking him in the shin, and he goes, good start. Good start. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to step out as easily as me. And it's nothing to do with power. You are an extension of my power, like so many others, although you do more with it. Very pleased. Very pleased. But you're going to have to do something about it. You're up against obscurity here, Sir Cora. Obscurity. Nothingness. To fade away. Do me proud. And be someone! And he thrusts you into nothingness, and your body disappears again. Your shoulders no longer exist, your ears no longer exist, and you're tumbling.
I used this Mask of Many Faces to turn back into Taro.
Sure.
And I reach for my father.
Interesting. You reach out and... Ooh. I'm liking this.
Oh, Kate's not good at these sort of puzzles.
Spellcasting check, please. So just roll your spellcasting modifier.
Come on, Kate. Big roll. Big roll.
Oh, that slipped. Oh, that's 16. Yeah. Kate's done it again. She didn't have a sheet open. Right, RPG.
Should be like +9 or something.
Yeah, it's pretty high. Yeah, that's true. We've just jumped up, haven't we, crazily? So, 16
Yeah, we just became level 10.
plus spellcasting spells. My spell attack. Oh wait, a modifier. There's a +5 on modifier, and a spell attack is +10. Which one are you wanting?
+10.
Okay,
It's the +10.
Then 26.
26. You reach out and suddenly you're holding a physical figure in your arms. The figure is limp to start with, but as you're holding onto it, you can feel your body, as now that you're holding something, you feel your arms getting colder and colder as energy leaves your body. And suddenly there's this... What? And you recognize the voice as your father.
Dad?
Tara?
you?
Tara?
Oh,
What are you
this
doing
place is so
here?
fucked up.
What? I'm
I'm
gone.
try and go to where his face is and feel.
Yep.
Does
You
he
can
feel the
feel. Yep. The same sideburns, the same face. You even find the little scar on the top of his left eyebrow, where somebody accidentally hit him in the head with a shovel. And yeah, it's your father.
Do you have a light spell or something you can cast, Cora?
No, but I think it's a sort of magical darkness because I've got the earring of dark vision, but I'm assuming that's not doing anything, right?
Nope.
No.
Nothing at all.
No.
Tara, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Not yet. Why are you here? Why am I here? I was gone.
Sorry,
I'm not supposed to be here now. I'm taking it from you. No! And he starts to frantically start to push you away. But you're a lot stronger than him and it's ineffectual.
Oh God, I don't hope I haven't just brought you into this shitty hole.
No! We all pass here. Part of us. It's okay. You learn this. This part's okay. This part's okay. It's not me. It's the rest of me. Is this the rest of you or all of you? It feels too much. You're too much. There's not supposed to be this much of you here. Why are you here? Why are you all here?
All?
This isn't supposed to be happening.
All? Who's all?
You're not all supposed to be here. This is just supposed to be what's left. Why are you here? Why are you here?
I came to
He's
help
so
a
tired
friend.
and clearly tired. You came here willingly? Then leave. If you can get here, you can get away. Leave now. You've taken just an echo of me. You've taken what's not me anymore. Everything is here. Just a glimmer of it, a little bit that's left. The barest spark until the end. There's a tiny bit of each of us. You need to go. You need to go. You're fueling me at the moment. You're fueling just this echo of me. I'm just a resonance here. My soul is gone. This is just a collection of memories and textures, and this is what was left of me in the physical.
Okay.
This is not your father. This is your father talking, but your father was never this intelligent. He never knew anything about this type of thing. He was a simple man. He was a hard-working man. The fact that he has all this knowledge right now, even though you seem to be absolutely 100% convinced that it's him, he's speaking about things that he clearly never learnt in life.
Okay.
And he does, because he's too weak to push you away, he runs his hands over your face and goes, "You've changed. Grown. You've grown. Strong. I can feel it." And you can see he's very weakly gripping your arms, and as he's doing so, you can kind of confirm that he is just this echo, because it's just the barest sensation, and you realise that you're filling in the sensation of him touching you through your own memories. This is where everything goes to be something else. It isn't your time. I could feel it. When this part of me, this echo of me came in here, it was to sleep. It was to be no more. I could feel the other part of me leaving. This is just a collection of memories. I'm not here. I'm currently just a part of you.
You'll always be
You're
a
not
part
going
of
to be
me.
doing anything to me. If you let go, you're not going to be doing anything bad to me. I'm somewhere else. I felt myself leave. It's okay. Why are you here?
That's a very good question. And when I figure that out...
You need to leave.
I'm trying. I'm... Okay. I don't want to let you
Nothing
go.
should be here and sentient.
I try and draw him in for a hug, and then I am like, okay, I will see you again, and I push him away.
As you grab hold of him and you say, "I'll see you again," and he says, "You'll see the other part of me. It's okay." And as you let go, he pushes as well, drifts away, and you feel you didn't realize how much energy it was taking, but as he passes away, warmth passes back into you, and you go, "Oh, if I had trouble letting go, that could have been the end of me."
I will. I will. See, okay. I don't have enough charges on the thing to do Bloody of Rage. I will. What is that thing? I will shout out into the nothingness. I'm not meant to be here. This is a place of nothing, and I am something. And I will, I don't know, let's say I'll use, I don't think I've actually used this much before. I will do the Dragon's Breath thing, cast Dragon's Breath, and just fire it out into the ether.
Okay.
While maybe changing color, like I'm gonna have my hair just go crazy color changing. I'm gonna change my face from Taro to Cora to all of my friends and all the things that I'm needing to go back to, and just imagine myself back in the university.
That's better. That's what I expect from a knight of mine. Burn bright. Be someone.
What else could I do?
Have I appeared at all? Am I aware?
As far as Farewell and Aiden are concerned, Farewell is about to blink his eyes. His eyelids have moved around about, I'd say about 1/10 of a millimeter at this point. Time works differently in a place without time.
Oh god, that means Farewell's been doing that creepy non-blinky thing.
Oh yeah.
Is Farewell still standing the same way he did when he went into the Oraculum, or is he laying on the floor? What's
For
going
you
on?
guys, a fraction of a millisecond has gone by.
Right, but I still saw Cora basically bam into non-existence. Right?
Yeah, you just saw her grip something in her hand and just go whip, and she was gone.
All right, I go to Farewell.
Okay. In the time it takes you to even think this thought, the scene with Kate will have ended.
I am going to use the last charge on my shimmer cloak and try and use that to phase from here back to the real world.
You start to activate the charge on the shimmer cloak, and a piercing cold goes through you. You don't end up using the charge. You have a feeling it would be a really bad idea. No, going the other way, Cora! Going the other way! Don't become nothing. Become something. Remember, you're one of mine now. You belong as much to the Feywild as you do from your own existence, your own history. Remember what we are, who we are, what we do. We are the stuff of dreams. We are the stuff of hope, of joy, of passion, of rage. Nothing that can be perceived and be perceived to be real can be done so without our existence. And how do we do that, Cora? How? How does a whole Feywild exist? How do I exist? Why is it that so many come to me? Because I have what they need, and I have it in boundless amounts. You need that too. You can be what you want to be. It's all about existence, Cora. Be what you are. Or what you want to be. Fake it as you make it, as they say. Come on, you can do better than that, surely.
Shit. I'm gonna clench my eyes really tight as if it's just like praying to suddenly be asleep and dreaming and imagine myself back in where I was in that dream in the Feywilds, where I was by the tree with the picnic and the general, and I'm gonna just imagine myself there, and I'm gonna try and imagine that I can't see the clothing, but I'm going to imagine that as the most as an almost identical to her outfit. That sort of like if I can't get back, I can go there. Sort of is the thinking.
You start to feel certain things happen. You can feel the breeze on your face. You can smell the smell of the water lilies, the cut grass, not quite cut grass, just the grass around you. The cut grass in the Feywild. You can smell the blossoms of the tree overhead. You can feel for a second your clothes transform. So you're suddenly aware of your body as your clothes transform, and the shift shroud armor that you have become the costume that you were wearing when you were underneath that tree. You can feel the anticipation of having Inora by your side. You start to just feel this weave of sensations and existence around you, even in the darkness. You feel like you could reach out and pick up a grape from the picnic that was in front of you, and you hear in the back of your head, good, press more. It's not about grapes, it's not about wind, it's about you. You're currently being taken apart, Cora. You're being made into nothingness, into nobody. Are you a nobody, Cora? Who are you? What are you?
I turn back into Taro, and oh fuck, no, I don't know. I turn back into.
Come on, Kate, be you. You can do it.
I don't know what I need to do. I am going to
believe in the me that believes in you.
I am going
Everyone,
to take.
lend her your spirit.
Clap your hands if you believe.
The power of friendship.
Remember, you are a magical girl, and this is your ultimate transformation.
Oh no, I can't do this. I will take elements of Taro and of Cora and merge them together, because the two are now one, and so the hair stays the same, but some of Tara's features, like her eyes, change back into Tara's, and I'm thinking back to when I was with Enola back in the day, and with the farewell and the things, and I'm trying to like pull on all of those things to sort of merge with, this is who I am, this is who I have been, like I was this and now I'm this, but I'm both, and it's all one, and this is me going forwards, not back. So like I'm not becoming the old Tara, I'm changing into the new.
You can feel your facial features change, which is great because you couldn't feel your face, and you can feel your body changing and sculpting to this new form. The clothes that you had before, you can feel your hair changing, your eyes changing, your appearance completely changing, and you pull in those aspects of you inside as well. And you start to feel more real, and whereas before you felt just like a consciousness flying through nothingness, you're now feeling like a being going through nothingness. And you feel like all it's going to take is one big push, one defining moment to push you through the barrier, because you can deny non-existence. But it's going to take just that one more thing.
You're making it really difficult, Simon.
I know. I pull out the pieces of or the other pieces of the
Character milestone.
fuck.
You're giving her an existential crisis.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out all of the pieces that I can of the broken music box. Obviously, I gave a piece to Farewell, but I'm gonna like clench them all in my hands. I'm imagining trying to Superman myself through this void. Instead of falling, I'm trying to like have a direction and be like, no, I make the decisions of where I'm going, and I'm heading to the exit kind of thing. And I'm gonna try and just pull all these in together and imagine them as the mended music box, and remember the tune that the music box was playing while thinking of Enola. And I can't remember if the music box had a figurine in it. I'm gonna now imagine that is Enola in there, like, well, me and Enola in there, and that it's playing, and I'm going to, just in my head, I think, just say to my patron, I am somebody, and I am coming back, and I am important, and so is she, and we are one, and you can't deny that. And that is my strength, and that is my power, and if you want it, that is what it needs.
You hear and as you have these parts in your hand, you start to just instinctively move your hands, and suddenly you have a fully formed music box in your hand. You open up the box and you hear this divine waltz, people laughing, and suddenly there's an announcement. My lords, ladies, and honored folk, Socorro Yosinal, heart's guard of the Summer Princess, known to us all. There's a huge applause and a burst of blinding light. You can feel fire wreathing your body, but almost kind of settling around your shoulders like a mantle, almost like only a part body of flame. And you realize that the light that's being generated that you're falling towards is the same kind of fire, just a kind of a point of light, like a firework that's being set in front of you like a portal. And it's only as you start to get close to it, that you slow down because you realize distance doesn't really exist. It's just your own perception of it coming closer to you. And this portal is around about a foot away from you. In the light of the portal and the mantle around you, you can see the outline of your body and the current set of clothes that you're wearing, which is the same set of clothes you had at the picnic. And this portal's just right in front of you. It doesn't seem to be open.
I hold out the music box and I force my way through the portal. I'm like, this is me. I am coming through. I don't know. Fuck, that was stupid. That was so lame. But like, so there was just an announcement, right? So this is meant to be my entrance. So I am trying to make that entrance. Yeah.
You
Go on, work it, girl.
You step through the portal, and for a moment there's a flash of figures, and it's sat in this gigantic ballroom, and you can see that there's fey folk of all kinds around you. Ogres, Eladrin, just this huge monsters ball of mixed fey, Spriggans, and just fantasy folk as far as the eye can see. You can see sat there on the throne, this gigantic gold throne, wreathed in beautiful summer colours, reds and oranges and golds, with this crown that is on fire on top of his head, is this kind of David Bowie type character. Bright orange hair, beautiful kind of slightly burnished and burnt skin, like a kind of a bronze skin. His eyes are just pools of fire, and he's just sat there magnanimously in the chair, and he just winks at you and flicks his hand, and a second portal appears, and you know instinctively that portal will lead you back to Aiden and Farewell.
Do I see Enola in the space?
She sat at the Summer King's right hand, and she's beaming all over her face and kind of gripping her father's hand, white-knuckled.
I bow, most like to sort of to him, but I kind of start to do it to him, but clearly change it to her.
Yeah.
And I just give her a wink, and I stroll out.
She beams back, and in the back of your head you can just hear Enola say, "Sweet dreams," and she winks back.
And I step through the portal.
Sure. Okay. So we're gonna go back to Aiden and.
Holy crap.
Well done, Kate. Well done. That was really, that was really good.
Cora going through the entire philosophy course just to not get vaporized.
Yeah.
What was it the count said? So Aiden, I'm going to show all this from your point of view because you're just there waiting for shit to happen. So what happens on your point of view is that Farewell walks into the Oraculum. He's got the sets of mirrors, the 8 sets of mirrors that are revolving around him, doing the whole infinity mirror thing, in a huge round chamber with crystals. He's stood in the middle like Cerebro. And Cora clutches something in her hand, steps forward, and disappears. You're like, what the... And as that happens, Farewell suddenly just... His eyes flicker and he blinks and looks around, kind of slightly panicked. And this is just a visceral thing, which is why I'm hijacking your character, Nick. And at that point, there's a fiery burst off to your right-hand side. And walking through this fiery burst is Cora holding a beautiful, ornate wood inlay box that she's now closed, wearing an absolutely fabulous outfit, which I'll get Kate to describe in a second because she gets carte blanche on that. And looking very different. The hair is different. The face looks slightly sharper. And there's one thing that absolutely sticks out, which Kate doesn't have an option with. Her ears are very slightly spiky now. Kind of like elven ears.
Aren't halfling ears always spiky, though?
I don't know, but
Halfling
they
ears
definitely
are...
are. They're more like elven ears now, though. The face in general is definitely more sylvan, more fey. And yeah, she just steps in looking beautiful. Not that she wasn't always beautiful, but certainly beautiful with this otherworldly beauty. This beauty that is almost completely reserved for the fae.
Question. Do I remember whose idea was it to come here?
It was Farewell's.
I don't.
It was
Okay.
Farewell's. Yeah.
So I look at Cora with all the description you told me. But I'm not phased by it. I just go to Farewell.
Yep.
I go up to him.
Farewell, you're presumably coming out of the mirrors now.
Okay.
I go to Farewell, and I just tell him, I should slap you.
No, what did I do this time?
Fuck, I don't know. The only thing I know is that you go into the Oraculum, and then fucking Cora here, if that's still Cora, I don't know, but I'm gonna call her Cora for now. Cora here just disappears and then quickly appears looking like that. And this is the second time we've come here where weird shit starts happening, particularly with you.
Eowyn suddenly appears on your shoulder, Aiden, and goes, "Oh, it's an improvement on last time." I mean, Farewell died
yeah, it
last
is an
time.
improvement. Yeah, it is definitely an improvement. I will give you that. But I turn to Farewell, and again, considering everything, I really should slap you for wanting to come here.
He did say it was a bad idea, and you agreed to it.
Well,
You know what? That's
technically,
fair.
it's stupid.
That's why I'm not slapping him. I'm just saying I should.
He put the disclaimer out there. He said we're off to do something stupid, damn it.
Yeah. That's why I'm not slapping him. I'm just saying that I should. The responsible thing to do should be to slap him, but that will make me a hypocrite, so I won't.
Yes.
Eowyn steps off.
Why do I have a feeling that I've missed something? And Farewell turns around and just sees Cora, and he's just like...
Eowyn steps off Aiden's shoulder, flits over to Cora's shoulder, and goes, "It looks good. Cora, what are you wearing?"
Yeah. Oh god, what am I
Come on,
wearing?
I procrastinated long enough to get you.
Yeah, I know.
Get you some time.
She's wearing I can't remember. I'm trying to think what the armor looked like of thing, but essentially this sort of silvery like breastplate armor thing with all this sort of fey leaf sort of almost leaves and branches kind of like filigree on it, and this she's actually got a kind of like red and orange kind of cape, like little half cape over her shoulders that kind of look like almost flames, and there's kind of like a similar sort of like almost like skirty type thing that you get in armor, sort of like the similar sort of that similar kind of red and orange kind of fiery kind of look, and that sort of thing.
Eowyn turns to you and says, "Vera nada linda sachinte. Esuda kam mai viva la secura." And you hear a mixture of Elven and Sylvan, which is interesting because you didn't speak either a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
As
I
she
had a
says-
very small amount of it from. Of
Okay,
Elvish
so
from
not only
Enola.
was it. Okay, so not only was it a philosophy course that she had to go through, she also took a psych course
Languages.
in Elvish and stuff.
Elvish and Sylvan.
Yeah.
This is kind of a mixture of the two dialects, and you instinctively know that she said to you, "You've changed, and in more ways than one."
All right. The least you could guys do is explain what the fuck has happened.
I mean, if
Because
it was
for me,
that
this was just like half a
simple-
second, right?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Well,
They were
all
like,
this
"We're
is
just going to go do
on.
some stuff." He stands in some mirrors. Cora fucks off, comes back with a new do, some plastic surgery, a new dress, and apparently a language course, which makes memorize look amateur in comparison. And Farewell's just come up
Farewell
just more
feels-
confused.
And Farewell looks like he just is suffering from whiplash, so so that's why I'm like,
Fair.
okay, the
fair.
least you could do,
Existential
the least you
whiplash is
could-
probably the best
Yeah.
description. Yeah. Yeah.
the least you could do is explain what the fuck just happened.
While all of this is going on, me and Glory are taking care of a baby and preparing a party. So.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about the baby.
Yeah, you left. You left. I'm blaming you directly, Aiden. You left the tiefling and the cat to look after the baby mimic and the baby human. Right?
To
Yeah.
be fair,
Anything that
to
happens
be
is
fair.
your fault.
Okay, Simon, to be fair, the one person who was better qualified to take care of the baby was the one who had the stupid idea to begin with.
True.
I accept my role in life. It's fine.
Damn it, Dee and Dad. You are the one responsible.
we will loop back round to that thought, but in answer to your question, Aiden, and he points at himself. This I can partially explain. That I can't. And he's pointing at Cora.
Alright.
I have no idea what happened. In fact, would Farrell even be aware that he left Cora behind, or as far as he's concerned, as he got pulled out, she came out at the same time?
You remember everything. You remember leaving, and when you turned up, you blinked your eyes, turned around and went, "Shit, where's Cora?" And then she appeared in a burst of fire.
I gotta say, the burst of fire is new. I mean, fire isn't new for you, but the burst of flame and the dress, and someone's been playing with your face again.
That should be concerning for
Yeah,
Aiden.
Yeah.
Again.
the word "again" certainly stands
Oh.
out. What?
Shit! Farrell just goes. Oh,
I feel like I'm getting a migraine.
He looks at Cora, just completely panicked as he realised he's just gone again. At least. Oh.
Yeah.
Question: is Cora's face a mixture of Taro and Cora now, or is it?
There are some elements that are not Cora when you look at it, because none of you've ever seen Taro apart from.
Yes, we have.
I might have
Yes.
disguised self as Taro once.
Oh,
I don't remember
Yeah.
because I've been missing a bunch
It
of
would-
sessions.
because there's
But
a
I
mixture
don't
of elements, it would be a hell of a perception check to tag it to that memory. But sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
that
asking more for the
was-
player's sake, because we're not there. So.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Because Cora showed us when she told us part of her backstory.
Yeah, that's true. I said I.
Yes,
used to look
I
up
yes.
those-
remember things.
Yeah. No, it's good.
We're
good
going to
memory.
pass the
Anyways.
perception. Farewell. The one thing you recognise of Taro's is elements that have been changed in the eyes.
Anyways, farewell.
Yes.
What did you see? Or what happened? Or anything?
Just what the fuck?
About what?
What the fuck?
He's just staring at like holes through Cora as his brain is just
I just go
trying.
like, here. We'll talk about that later. I'm also really confused, but right now I want to hear your side of things.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Did you get what you needed? Because that was epic, and we'll talk about it, but...
Epic.
Kind of.
God fucking damn it.
Poor Aiden's gone there with them, and they're just kind of like, we'll talk about this later. It's like, no, we'll fucking talk about it now.
No, fuck you! We're not leaving this room until I get an explanation.
I will turn this plot around, young man.
I had 2 uses of Blood Curse of the Binding. You guys are not walking away from me.
I'll be honest, you keep asking questions that I know from my experience with you that you're not going to like the answer. So we've got 2 choices. I can be completely honest with you and you can storm out now, or you can take a seat and I'll try and gently explain what's going on. I mean, it's really up to you because I'm expecting you to leave no matter what I say.
Hit me.
The very
Come on.
confused attendant who was here for the whole thing and is just as confused but doesn't feel the right to question, just at the mention of a seat, just brings chairs over.
I forgot there was someone else here.
Oh,
It's like, don't mind me, I just run the facility, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
thank you. This is probably very weird for you, and I apologize for this.
I shall give you some privacy because clearly what you saw in there was personal. The antechamber is yours, and you can see as they try to run away without running, and close the double doors behind you because this was just like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to shut the door.
Remind me we
Fair.
owed that guy something, at least some tip or something like that.
I think Glory's got a nice range of thank you cards somewhere in the
Alright,
pub.
alright.
I saw her writing them for people. I'm pretty sure that that's what they were used for.
Alright. Hit me.
Uh,
What do you see?
other than existential dread,
Alright.
everybody I've ever known being tortured horribly as an entropy battery is the quickest way to. 3,
Alright.
2.
I'm just like thinking. I'm just thinking. Like, keeping dead souls in like a purgatory state as a battery, does that ring any bells?
Yeah. There's a lot of your Blood Hunter training. You're like, oh shit. That's you have heard stories. You've seen it from the stories tell it from the physical side of things. Normally, in the physical world, the corresponding part would normally be some sort of big, ostentatious, self-important black crystal or something. Normally in the end of a big chamber that's really impractical but really cinematic. And, and normally there will be screaming coming out of the orb, and then some shadowy dick of some sort of creature would normally be drawing energy off it. There's the usual kind of pattern. Your family have killed lots of this type before.
Okay, that's bad news. So do I know like what types of like creatures would
Typically, yeah. I mean, from some of the recent chat that we had, you know that this is probably going to be somewhere within the region of necromancer, diablerist, or indeed undead or fiend.
Alright. Okay, pick your poison. You got very powerful necromancer, undead, probably lich, or worst of all, a fiend.
You also know, Aiden. I'm just checking your stats here, especially your new stats, intended stats.
Thank you, Matthew
Yeah.
Mercer.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Matthew Mercer made me more intelligent. High five, brain. But the
I
yeah,
gained like 20 IQ points overnight.
you
Thanks
did,
to,
yeah,
thanks to Matthew Mercer.
you did.
Matthew
And
Mercer's
with your
cram
newfound
school.
intelligence, you can rule out devils. Devils have their own way of messing around with souls. They would not need to go through such elaborate ways. If anything,
Yeah.
this is kind of a reinvention of using departing souls. Also, they are bound by a law, and you're pretty sure that not everybody in Farewell's family was hell-worthy. So they would be breaking certain laws if it was hell. So you pretty much, if you're a betting man, you would not bet on devils.
Yeah, not devils though. This is when it comes to demonic shit regarding this is probably gonna be of the abyssal variety. Your devils wouldn't do this as much as they're assholes. But they do follow the law somewhat.
It's probably an abyssal. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't speak abyssal or read it before all of this happened, and now I can. That would kind of be a bit of an indication, I guess.
What I'm getting at is what you
Shit.
saw was some awful, probably world-altering shit. Because this type of magic, not everyone can just read about it and do it.
You're really cheering me up here.
That's what I do. Anyways, I just look at Cora. The fuck?
Yeah, well, it was probably a stupid idea to walk into that.
Yes, I agree with you there. Farewell was like, yeah, more.
It was constructive.
No, I mean for me. I walked in there for you, and if it helped, that was the point.
It helped.
You did leave. She left. She
That
left me
wasn't-
there.
That wasn't by choice,
No.
and we will have a conversation with her about that later, and express perhaps next time that she decides.
Just a very down to earth sitting down with your deity to just discuss a few things.
Let's discuss some priorities, shall we?
I felt that in her. Sorry.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I keep letting you down, so I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have left you behind.
It's okay. It's not that. It's not. You didn't. I walked into that on my own. You went in there alone, and I decided to follow. So that was my choice. It wasn't your responsibility to then rescue me, who got herself in trouble. And luckily, after a little bit, I got myself out of trouble, just about. With a little help from, you can guess who. This is new.
No, actually, no. I can't remember. I wasn't there.
Really? We never talked about the Summer King?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll park that to one side. I'm
Okay.
a little worried about the fact that they've been playing with you in. Yeah, I mean, this. You look different, right?
I feel different. Yeah.
Me too. And suddenly Awen snaps her fingers and suddenly she has that courier's uniform on. She's got the little messenger bag and the little rapier and the little cap and all the rest of it. She's got double buttoned kind of drummer boy top on, a little skirt and everything, and all the rest of it. And she kind of flies up in the air very much in a kind of Tinkerbell pose and goes, "I'm a squire."
I correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Cora told. You told very briefly
You're not
about
here.
Nola.
No,
No, but I'm
Corinne. It's Corinne.
That's me. But
Yeah, she
but
did.
you
She
guys
did briefly. She did briefly, but
I don't know
they've
whether we
never
discussed the
seen this
Summer
level of pageantry
King.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
was
know
after
all
the
about
dream.
Enola. I know she's alive, but I don't know about the Summer King.
Right,
or
yeah,
anything else.
yes.
This is just extra layers.
the
But you're
knowledge
right,
of the thing.
Corinne. Certain things were revealed, but this is going into. Let's talk more about that.
That's true.
'Cause it's
I only learned all
more
of
front
that
and center.
stuff the night you disappeared, or you went off. Yeah, you're right. Jesus. So like the
Yeah.
realities of in-game and the realities of outside game is to say.
It's been about a few weeks.
Shall we head back and
I'm a little
we can
worried
discuss
about the other
on the
two.
way.
They've had
Yeah,
that baby
by the
for
way-
some time, and
Yeah,
I'm
they
a little
have a
worried
baby.
that. Well, I'm not worried about Eclipse. She'll be fine. She'll look after the kids. She's very good with that sort of thing. Or at least I think she's very good at that. This is the kind of you.
Problem
know, you
is
just
that
get
she's
feeling
hanging
like
around
it.
with Glory.
Excuse
I'm
you,
more
Glory
worried about
has
the
a
past.
little brother.
That's true.
She
I'm
knows
more-
what
No,
she's
for-
doing.
Who
A
blows
little
up
brother
West
who
Wing?
blew up a wing.
Yeah, he blew up the wing of the house.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
every kid
I'm
does
more
that.
worried about the
No.
Glory.
Shut up,
Glory's
imaginary
something about-
Glory in my head.
Yeah, share my imaginary Glory in my brain. No, she said something about a party, and if you remember the last time we all went to a party with Glory, what happened? Do any of us want that to repeat?
well, Aiden got into a fight and nearly died, so don't do that again.
I'm more talking about how stupid we all looked. I could deal with the dying thing. It's the... I mean, we're supposed to be great champions and heroes of
Thanks.
the city now, and
I mean,
I haven't had a reputation before. Look, you'll be fine. I'm always around, and you haven't died yet. I was right
You got yourself into that duel, remember? That we got you out
there.
of it.
Exactly. You were fine.
Death, no problem.
I haven't
Questionable
had a
fashion,
reputation.
Now we're in trouble.
I haven't had a
Our
good rep
next
before,
fashion
and I
choice
really,
will
really want to
just
keep
be-
it, and I'm really worried. She made me wear plants.
Our next,
I almost
our
forgot.
next outfit choices will be the magical girl outfits. That will be our outfits next time.
Oh god.
You are going to have to
art is
roll really
already
well.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean-
we're gonna have to roll really well to make Farewell wear booty shorts and a crop top.
Yeah.
I forgot that's what you did.
Well, look, this party
Alright.
is a quick party. It doesn't mean that we have, like, they don't have time to prepare and take us shopping. We can...
You've met Glory, right?
This is gonna be the most ostentatious shit this side of Skara.
We've left her alone with arguably the best bounty hunter in the city, which means she'll be able to find anything that she wants.
Okay, but
She has a mind-reading bartender with her, which means that she can fuck with people's brains, and the likelihood is she's been planning this party for the last 6 fucking months, and this is just the excuse she needs.
Okay, yes, fine. All of that is absolutely true. But then we hardly knew each other and we felt obliged to do what she said because she knew stuff and things, and we felt that we should go along with it. Now we can actually stand up for ourselves and dress the way we want to. I can dress any way I want to, and I'm gonna use the thing to turn into the plant outfit that Farewell had.
You watch as the plant outfit that you still have a little bit of post-traumatic over, Nick, appears on your friend. In all fairness, it looks like it fits really well.
I look good in it, yeah. So, like, just stand up
That's
for
not
yourself,
funny.
man. It's kind of a bit funny.
It's not funny.
I go back.
I don't like that kind of confrontation. I mean, give me an army of like undead any day of the week. Don't give me a pissed
I
off
agree.
tiefling that can melt me.
Hey.
I've seen her melt people.
I have a patron who's the king of the Feywilds. We can do this. And I grab his hand and try and pull the carpet off and throw it down so that we can just ride back.
And I have some blood bullshit and an alcohol problem. Can we just get going?
You stopped drinking,
We
I
are
thought.
going to work on that. Yeah, I
No.
thought you said that.
Yeah, literally just now, like because this is still the same
You
day.
drunk
I
something
decided to quit
and then
today.
decided you're quitting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that classic thing.
I quit for today. Yeah. Okay.
No, like Aiden is quitting. It's just that he just said that.
Yep. This
Yep.
day.
He said he's quitting today, so he's quit
Yep.
today.
You step out of the chamber and
Before we move on,
Yep.
as we're moving out, I could go to Farewell and okay, if you want more cheery news, the good thing is you got a friend that is part of a family that deals with a bunch of undead and fiend and other sort of undead bull crap. So
As we stand on the carpet, as he says that,
shrug.
I elbow him in the ribs and go, you called me your friend. And I go, pride, and the thing lifts up and we shoot off.
Oh yeah.
So that was the last thing.
Brilliant.
Farewell is gonna ride that thing now. You
Yep.
will never get him to shut up. Aiden called me his friend. He likes me the best.
Farewell.
I'm not going to tell
friend.
Eclipse that. That would... Yes.
Yeah, that will get you killed.
He wouldn't tell Eclipse that. That would break her heart. He couldn't do that to her. He
Aw.
likes her too much.
You stole her human.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't tell her that. That would be devastating. How could you do that to the poor tabaxi?
Just to put in, because you're probably gonna flash back, which is perfect. I'm gonna sort of try and direct us to kind of do a bit of a circle of the city and via flyover of the city really, and a flyover of Freetown to look at how the state of the place before we start partying. I wanted to check in and see if everyone seemed okay, and I'd probably have us swing by the gather all like home to see if it looked like everyone survived and that sort of thing, and we'd probably go past dust and
Sure.
on our way
Yeah.
back we'd sort of mosey. Just so you know, we don't have to roleplay it, but unless anything major.
I'll just give you a quick pass over then. So you pass over the city. There are fires still being burnt, bodies being burnt. You can see that certain select bodies are being taken to the palace for inspection. There are patrols going throughout the city, not just of guards, not just of the various factions, although it is strange how once you get this high up and you see the city from above, that you can pick out a green organization band, a Primari band, a bunch of guards, a thieves guild, a detachment of thugs or stalkers. You can see people passing over the rooftops at incredible speeds, urchins like yourself. You can see that there are guards from the various religious denominations, even clusters of magi, walking around the city, making sure that every single demon is gone. It's very militant. People are out in the streets. but they're now in a more celebratory mood. You can see people visiting door to door, people stood out in the streets talking to each other, saying, have you lost anybody? When you go over to Freetown, there's a lot more of a jubilation. Apparently, after going into the center of the city, the Freetowners went back to their own, not really sticking around all that much. You see a couple of faces here and there that stayed within the city, but for the most part, they went back. When you pass over the Gatherall homestead, it's not even a homestead, it's a home. You can see that Mar Gatherall, the little boy, Tiefling Horn's now gone, although he's still pink-faced from berries that are rubbed into his face. They are bringing tables and trestles out into the street, and you can see that pies and other forms of food are being set upon the tables. Some sort of feast, some sort of celebration, or at least what passes for it in Freetown. There's a procession as you go over the Raven Queen Temple, which is in Freetown. And the procession seems to be a great number of people who fell within the city. They're being taken to the Temple of the Raven Queen, presumably to see whether or not it's their fate to stay dead. You know that in some cases, a simple blessing over the body can cause the dead, the recently dead, to come back to life because it was not fated. This makes the Raven Queen obviously incredibly popular. But this is one in thousands that this can happen for. Most of them are there to simply be praying for the Raven Queen to take them to where their final destination is in the Astral Sea. A process that you know little more of now. That once the soul leaves the remains, everything else, the resonance of them, starts to decay. That in some way everything that isn't the person, the identity, the soul of that person, pours back into the world and into life itself, able to continue in what is a great circle of life that goes through all of the planes of existence. And in a way you feel a little more humbled that it's so organized. These teachings were told to Farewell throughout his indoctrination. It's why he's able to do what he's able to do. But for you, you've kind of felt it with your own eyes as you manage to somehow pick up an echo of your father and speak to his memories and his impact upon the world. You curve back round and head back to the Hawk and Harness, where you can see Beat Babadoom is walking back with an elderly-looking gentleman and a dwarf. They're heading towards the Hawk and Harness. Outside the Hawk and Harness, kegs of beer are being offloaded from carts. Various meats and baked items are coming in droves, as you can see that tables are being set outside the Hawk and Harness. But you can see a lot of things are being taken inside as well. The carpet comes down and glides to a halt. There's a lot of, not so much cheers, but smiles, nods of approval from these hard-working folk as you step off the carpet and into the tavern. Inside, Glory and Eclipse are watching as this very quiet baby is currently being held by, let me get the name right, currently being held by, I only had a last session, you would have thought I would remember, Eluned Carissa. Yeah, Eluned Carissa. Eluned's actually a Welsh name, it means moon. Nice. And she's the half-elf representative of the Magi Domestica. She's currently holding the baby. The baby's just staring at her big, piercing blue eyes strange sandy-coloured hair, and the baby is just looking fascinated at this half-elf as she holds and goes, "There, it's okay. It's okay now." And the baby, as watching Elined talk to her, the baby is starting to fall asleep. Glory, you're surrounded by various purveyors of wines and meats and cloth and all sorts of stuff, as they heard that Glory Tazkakotl is throwing a party and came in their droves. Eclipse,
Obviously.
what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna try to take the baby once it's fell asleep, because she's currently quite attached to the baby, and kind of
Sure.
carry it around for a bit.
Yep, Elined gives the baby back. The baby has recently fed from the wet nurse. The wet nurse has arranged a schedule to feed the baby, and you, as far as you're concerned at the moment, no one's taking the baby from you. So, sure, it's here until it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should say she's here until she's not, because as far as you're aware, the child in your arms is female.
Yes. I will say hello to when Cora, and I was like, well, I will first of all react to Cora as she looks quite different. I'm like, oh, what did you guys do?
Probably stuff we shouldn't.
Spa break.
Right.
We'll probably explain at some point. Right, Farewell?
Probably.
Well,
I don't know what you mean.
Exactly.
well, we found a wet nurse for the baby, so the baby is eaten now.
Oh, well, good. Well done. That's awesome. Do we have a name for it? Should we name it? I guess we gotta find out it's
No.
first.
Farewell
No,
just
we-
flicked Aiden on the forehead. If you're not going to contribute properly, you can go.
Don't worry, I've been thinking up names for the past an hour. It's
Oh.
fine.
You are not naming the
not.
baby. It is not
I
our
agree with you.
child.
This is not our fucking baby.
This is not our child. We do not have the right to name it. The child could have.
We can
You put a
Family.
small
nickname
detail
it.
into a D&D campaign.
Hey,
Just
Well,
one
we could
small
give-
detail.
it doesn't need
We
to.
could give her a nickname.
Yes, it's just
If
a
we could give
nickname.
her a
It's just
nickname.
something to call it rather than the baby or, Anyway, how's the party
Why
going?
is she still here?
Well, where
Why
else?
haven't you just let the wet nurse leave?
The wet nurse has her own child. The wet nurse is a wet nurse because she has her own child.
Oh shit! Are we looking after this kid now?
That's what I mean. There are places that are better.
I love the insinuation. You've recently had a baby? Yes, I have. Have another one.
That wasn't quite what I had meant. It was more implying that I thought the understanding was that the child will go to the temple until they find her family, and if they don't find her family, then the temple will continue to look after her. We are not the best people to look after her at all.
We are not definitely not the people who should be taking care of a baby.
And out of
We
all of
already
us, and
have
he's
your
looking
own.
right at Eclipse, yes, out of all of us, you should know that better. You know exactly how dangerous our life is.
Oh yes. I'm not saying we should keep her. We're just looking after her for the afternoon before we can go and put her something better. Or I was
Why don't
thinking
you
we
give
should
me
take
the-
her in the morning. I was thinking we should take her in the morning tomorrow when everything's calmed down a bit.
That wasn't an out of character question. What time is it?
It's 9:20 in the UK.
No, he means in game.
Just said in game.
It's Friday. Leave me alone.
that
It's
kind of dumb.
around about. It's about 4 p.m.
Okay.
Either way, I
will
want
take
that
the
wine
carpet.
and that cheese, but not together. I want that cheese for that wine, okay?
How long has she been
Of
doing
course, madam.
For the better part of an hour.
that? Okay, I'm gonna go get back on the carpet with the little one. I'll go drop her off at the temple. You guys can go fix this, and I swear to God, if I come back and there's a plant suit waiting for me, I will kill every single person in this room. I am
And then
not
yourself.
joking. No, just everybody in this room. And I motion to sort of take the child.
Also, please
Not
call him
even
the youngling.
whilst we throw an absolute fucking rager. This is not the right thing to do. The DM clearly wants the child out of the story, and we keep bringing it back in. I am giving
It's
this
our
boy out.
baby!
Yeah.
It's
I
not
am
our
giving
baby!
it
Don't-
out.
Don't give
Our
the players
baby
something you
now.
don't want them to have.
Do you ever think about how, like, technically in universe, in the same day we had this big climatic battle against the architect, and then a few hours later we're bumbling around wondering
Yes.
what to do with a fucking baby?
Yep.
There are people around you who are wondering why you aren't all dead by now.
We wondered the same.
I am sure
Yes.
You are
Noki is
all-
one of them.
You are all very welcome for the fact that you are not dead. That is all I'm going to say. And I take the baby and I leave.
Please,
I
I
will
want
go with you
farewell.
and leave the baby.
I
I will
want
go
it-
with you and leave the baby.
That's fine.
I
You,
wanted
you're more than
farewell
welcome
to-
to come with me.
I wanted farewell to live off with fucking Jim Sterling's catchphrase of "Thank God for me."
Yes.
He's not quite. He can't quite get away with that one.
No,
He can get close. But
As he's leaving, Cora's just gonna be like, says the guy who just walked into something that tried to kill him last time.
Oh god.
Wait,
well,
what?
that's going to make the carpet ride interesting. Thank you for that.
Oh, yes.
Farewell.
Like, yeah, farewell. Don't remember that. You too are an idiot. Son.
yeah. Don't think you're above us all. You just had that stupid idea.
Yes.
Are you
Again,
riding? Are you and
I should
Eclipse
slap
having a
you on
carpet
the
ride
carpet.
now? I love it.
I just get on the
Slap.
carpet. I'm just like I'm getting on the fucking carpet. I'm not engaging. They're trying to draw me back in. They're always trying to draw me back in. I will take the higher ground.
I'm gonna needle Farewell the entire carpet ride on what the fuck he did.
Yes.
So what you do?
Yeah.
And the word and Aiden's words resonate in his head. I should slap you.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know where you guys want the focus to be at the moment, but Nick and Corinne, you go to which temple do you go to?
The Raven
Uh,
Queen.
The Raven Queen, yeah.
Sure.
The
You
reason
touched on-
why Eclipse said to wait a little bit, because a lot of people are going there at the moment, was the reasoning for waiting till morning. But
the
we
procession
can go
is
now.
the procession is quite quiet, and dusk comes out. Things are busy, but the Raven Queen temple there is freaking huge because they cater to all the outer villages. And she steps out and she says, "Oh, yes, I heard. I heard of the survivor. There's been some interest already to find out which family this poor child is from."
Yes. We didn't think we would be the best ones to look after her unless we can find a
No.
family and.
Plans have been set in place, whether the family is found or not. This child shall be a ward of the city. It was communicated to us all that you would eventually bring the child to one of us or the palace itself. We shall make sure that everything correct is done. And at that point she nods over to a priestess. Priestess walks up, plain grey robe, and a pair of what seem to be raven's wings on the shoulders. And she takes the baby and whispers some words of comfort to the baby. The baby just does a big sigh, and the child seems at peace, and the priestess bows to you and walks off. Dusk turns to you and says, "She was with you today."
Yes.
Farewell just looks at Eclipse like, yes?
Yes, she was with us today. Yeah, we found her today.
Oh no, she didn't mean the baby.
No.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, we have a certain predication to speak on certain subjects. She was
Whoa.
with you today.
Yeah.
I can feel
Not
her touch upon you.
Not her best work, if I'm being completely honest.
Well, remember, she was once mortal too.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
no.
hardly asking about the simple things in life. You're seeing off demonic invasions from another plane of existence. You know, they are only gods after all.
They are imperfect.
And she gives you a smile. And you remember that Dusk is getting on in years now, is around about, I think she's in her late 50s. And she's got a little bit of a mischievous twinkle in her eye. And yeah, when she says, they're only gods after all, there's a kind of smile.
It was a welcome affirmation of everything I've done over the last couple of years. I never thought that would work. I didn't even know it could work, and it worked. So yeah. It didn't bring good news though. But now is really not the time to talk about it. I should probably get back to my friends so that they don't do something that I would later regret not being involved in, because I think they're planning to stitch me up.
She kind of, the eyebrows raise and the cheekbones kind of just suddenly flush with colour a little bit, and she says, doesn't sound as deadly as the rest of the day. I'm sure you'll prevail.
Oh no, I believe this will be infinitely more dangerous than anything that we've faced over that.
Heavens!
Assembly party.
Oh joy.
I will be here when you need me. We shall talk again. Until then, go easy on our patron. After all, if a mortal can become a god, it's clearly not all that it's cracked up to be. And she purses her hands over her stomach and turns around and continues with the procession. And as an automatic response, the prayer of the departed starts to be toned from her lips as well as the priestesses around the procession.
So, should we get
Baby
back?
successfully delivered.
Yes.
You sure?
Now,
I
at
hope
this
we can
point,
visit. I hope we can visit her.
Oh yeah, of course you can. I'll show you the side door. You can avoid all of the people, and you can just sort of get into where everybody stays. You'll find it there. It's really easy. I use it all the time.
Thank you.
And I'll go sit on the carpet and wait for Eclipse to join me to get ready to go home.
sure.
I'll join him to go home for now.
Okay.
Poor
So-
Eclipse having to give away one of her humans.
Yes, my
She
little
only had
human.
it for one day, but it was hers.
Yes, it's my human. It's my other human.
You gave away the shiny.
There's any- You gave away my hairless kitten.
Yes.
It's 9:30, guys, so I think this is probably a good time for a quick break.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because it's about to get all sorts of chaotic because I have no idea what Felicia's been planning because I
Oh
know
yeah,
her
me either.
over time on this.
Yep, we're kind of going to be riffing off Felicia for the second half, so be prepared.
Yep.
I'll do my best.
There will be a trailer for the Kickstarter. The Ren Kickstarter pitch video is going to be showing during the short break just to make people aware. And then it will go into the short break. So we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi, I'm Kate Madison, head of Mythica Entertainment and the director and co-creator of Ren the Girl with the Mark, our short-form fantasy series. We're currently running a Kickstarter to fund new episodes. We've already made 5 episodes of our show, which make up our season 1 and kick off our story. Previously on Ren.
Who wouldn't want it now? It's worthless.
It's the thing inside that matters.
What was in it?
Amari spirit. You're in Amari now.
Bane, and no matter what happens, we'll always find each other again.
Here, this creature's face. You see the mark. Mark of evil.
So this is where you've been hiding all these years, Mari Rai.
Khan is the reason your mother has gone.
What is a Mari Rai?
It's kind of a guardian for the Namari. Where are the others? Ren!
That first season has proved more popular than we could ever have imagined. Over 8 million views and 100,000 YouTube subscribers, 60 award nominations and 14 wins. It's amazing that you love the show as much as we do, and clearly it deserves a second season.
What do you want?
We've set our Kickstarter goals so that we can fund the first few episodes, fulfill our rewards, and cover our Kickstarter and other fees. But we would like to make more than just the first 2 episodes. So as soon as we hit our initial target, we will begin working on stretch goals to fund more episodes. And like last time, you're a part of this, we can't do it without you.
Why?
There are no Hollywood studios involved in Ren, no streaming giants, no rich investors. The show is funded by people like you. It's your choice whether the show is renewed or cancelled, not some execs.
A trade's a trade.
In return for backing the show, we're offering some amazing rewards. There's all the usual things, like downloads and DVDs, but we also have some cool collectibles and some unique on-set experiences, like the Deluxe Extra, where you get to be in the show and keep your custom-made costume as well. You can shadow myself or Neil Oseman in the director or cinematographer experience. And do check back, because we might be adding more as we go through the campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again for all your support. Please grab your rewards, share the page far and wide, and let's make our mark.
Thank you, Kickstarter!
Welcome back, everybody. So, when we left off, we had managed to finally get rid of an NPC baby. I feel some sense of achievement today. And both Eclipse and Farewell are on a magic carpet ride back to the Hawk and Harness, the tavern that these guys call home, as given to them by Renata Green, who as yet hasn't turned up since their conversation in the divination building where they had the showdown with the architect. When you get back, the Hawk and Harness is even in more of a furore than before. People have got wind of the fact that Glory is throwing a party. They've seen all the people coming in with the various odds and sods, the different supplies. And so people are now just milling about, knowing that they haven't officially been told that they can take anything or have anything yet. As you step inside, you can see that Beatba is currently kind of scatting in the corner. He's kind of and he's wiping down tables as he's kind of dancing. He's kind of doing a bit of a bum wiggle as he's wiping down tables, and you can see that Garrett, the scholar that's been helping Eclipse with the Heart of Duradan mission that she set herself, is currently muttering a few things and waving a wand, and decorations are appearing around the pub. He's doing it to Glory's direction, and Jacob is just currently in the corner talking to another dwarf who seems to have come in. Glory's spoken with this dwarf.
It's the guy with the good stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the major suppliers of the city, and
Dwarf Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, so this is Huldir Ragrik, and he's a Moradin priest, so he's a Moradinite, and as one of the major forces for artifice and artisanship in the city. Very influential character, very rich character, both personally and access to funds through his faith and city funds as well to keep industry going. And he's pretty much come here as a representative of Duke Ostermark himself, Edmund Ostermark himself, saying, I'm bankrolling this. Yeah, just go for it. I'm bankrolling this. And since giving you that open checkbook, Glory, he's kind of gone in the corner and he's currently talking to Jacob, who's just talking to him about kind of it's very much kind of a strokey beard meeting of minds, and the only part of the snippets of conversation you've got so far is that Jacob is trying to get Huldir to fund something else, an expedition.
Nice.
Okay. So,
expedition, you say?
Glory, what are you doing?
Well, I am making sure that we have as much drinks as possible, and I have had Noki call in extra people to be serving stuff, bartending, and just like as much staff as possible. Outside in the street, the buildings are being decorated with flowers and different banderoles, just generally making it nice, the entire block around the pub, because this is going to be big.
Yep, so Elened has brought in the Magi Domestica. They've mostly used most of their spell power, but they've got some cantripy stuff going on, and they're using a little bit of that to decorate as well. Seems to be quite a community effort. You're kind of the architect to this, no pun intended. But they are all kind of helping. And in that time, a second dwarf has come in from the Hunter and Farmers Guild, Helena Thunderbane. And she's been coming in with huge amounts of meats and fish and things like that. You know that the fisheries person is a person called Barek Stora, another Kalashtar, actually, one of the few Kalashtars in the city. But he hasn't turned up, and Helena points out that he's been injured and that she's kind of taking things in from the ships to contribute instead.
Nice.
And you do notice that Helena Thunderbane has turned up with a bunch of gaming tables as well. She seems to be setting up kind of gambling tables and other fun games of chance as well. So she's trying to make a bit of a festival atmosphere being set up outside the pub as well.
Outside, there will also, once the dark starts to fall, the mages will use dancing light to basically light up the entire block.
Yeah. All the lamplighters
sure.
in the city are Magi Domestica, so yeah, they've got this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm imagining a stage outside being set up, an improvised stage for Beatba, because we're gonna make this party rock.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
Fireworks have been brought in, like we're gonna light this up. All the things where people flocking the entire streets as the atmosphere starts to build up. And once all of the guys are back, Glory will go ahead to really get it started. The music pumping, having bards everywhere, just like continuing the music throughout the streets, even if you're not close to the actual stage.
Sure.
And making the most out of the atmosphere.
Sure.
And just inviting, like, letting people come and really relax and party.
Okay.
Because this is a celebration of a grand victory for the entire city.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned fireworks, magical or chemical?
Both.
Okay. In that case, one of the people that turns up, yet more dwarfs. You have a feeling that the dwarfs are kind of contacting other dwarfs. And again, another guild leader. I promise not all the guild leaders are dwarfs.
Dwarf book.
Yeah, they contacted each other on Dwarf Book. Yeah.
To be fair, technically they're all using Twitter. Remember, we've got all those blue pigeons.
Oh yes,
flying around.
all the blue pigeons.
Yep.
It's only the dwarves that use Dwarf Book, you know, and really none of us really use it anymore. We just use it to follow family every now and again, you know, and like your mother's like your mother's posts. The way that you like your mother's posts is that you find your mother's post and you write like on them. So you know, it's fine. Some other people are turning up, and this is mostly because I know that Glory's agenda is to get contacts, and
amongst other things.
Head of the Artificers Guild is Kalos Greyhelm, a trans-male dwarf who is young, very charismatic, very stylish, and they're currently setting up on the rooftop fireworks, as in chemical fireworks. And they are using kind of magic to set them off in the first place, but there's chemical ones. You do notice somebody from your past, Glory, and that is Celine Amona, an elf, and she's the head of the Entertainers Guild.
Yep.
And the by entertainers, I mean bards, actors, actresses, jugglers, all types of entertainers. And then from previously in this campaign, Rachel Anders of the Companions Guild is also here. She turns up with her companions. The companions are mostly going to be, I guess they're going to be in a kind of geisha mode tonight.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hosts throughout the party, kind of whipping the party up into fun. Yeah. So whereas they can occupy everything from the Companions Guild is everything from geisha, conversationalist, cultured companions, and escorts, all the way through to sex workers, which there's no shame on either end of that spectrum. today Rachel has kind of deployed them as, yeah, have fun, dance with people, get it so this party is successful. And this is one of Rachel's main functions, is that she makes a party a party. The entertainers are there to provide music, tale, song, spectacle. These guys are designed to, well, their speciality is to be in the party, to have fun. And make
to overcome that social awkwardness. Everyone's like, should I do something? No, I'm the only one doing something stupid. I don't want.
They're the first people up to dance. They're the people who pull people onto the dance floor. They are expert hosts. The Companions Guild covers the whole range, as I say, without shame. But here, they're all switching their mode to fun. No need to be, talking philosophy or theology or whatever, or culture. They are just going to go out, have fun, and pull people into the fun with them. And Rachel's just deploying them throughout the crowd right now. Okay. There's some details of how the city works, and they're descending on what seems to be the heroes of the hour and making sure that greatness continues around you. So yeah, the tavern now effectively is the size of a block, because that's what you're kind of controlling, Glory.
Yep.
God.
As for that, the crowd starts to spill in and occupy the tables and the block outside, which reaches as far as the parade grounds, by the way, the giant parade grounds in the middle of the city. It spills out that far, to the point where people start bringing their own tables and chairs and things like that to continue the size of the party. And the meat, the rest of the food, the various sweetmeats and treats come in. There is somebody who seems to be setting up like a street kitchen outside, up until the point where he gets knocked cold by a hobgoblin and then dragged away to the cells. But other than that, it's mostly under your control. And wine, mead, beer, all the rest of it, they're just emptying all the other green taverns to supply this one great big party. I'll say emptying them. They're leaving some behind because there's people partying there too. But you're getting the supplies from cellars and things to be able to cater to this great spectacle in the center of the city.
Nice.
What are you guys doing?
I am as
watching
far
all
as
of this in
fucking
awe.
possible from the spotlight.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dance. I assume me and Farewell are coming back, or
Oh, you've already got here. Yeah, this description is what you come into, And this time there is a cheer, where previously I said there wasn't a cheer. There was just nods of acknowledgement. There's a raucous cheer when you guys turn up.
yeah. Are we being forced into weird costumes, or are we all right?
Nope.
Nope.
This time you're all
Thank
right.
Fuck.
Because you need to look like heroes right now.
Mm-hmm. The closest you get to a makeover is that one of the Magi Domestica does prestidigitate you, getting rid of some of the blood spatter and the stuff like that you've picked up throughout the day. So you get prestidigitated, but that's about it. You're just a cleaner version of yourselves.
I will find Aiden and I will make him do one dance with me, and then I'm gonna go and find the I keep forgetting his name.
Garrett.
Garrett. Yeah, Garrett.
Yeah. So yeah, he's already finished with putting up decorations on the inside by the time you get there. And Garrett Alderman, historian, wizard, generally pretty cool old guy. He's kind of got that that kind of hippie, well-traveled, seen it all before. It kind of looks like an old grizzled surfer, I guess. And the only thing that kind of offsets that is that he does wear traditional wizard robes. And he's sat there with a sherry.
I assume I did not get stabbed from my dance then, Aiden.
I mean, like I said, I'm just as far away from the spotlight as possible. I just want some very dark, like, just not dark, but just some lonely corner where I can just sit and drink some water.
I want my
What?
bleeding corner.
There is a kind of surly dwarf corner, which is where Jacob and it seems to be your best bet at the moment. Is that
I just go to them and be like,
yeah,
you mind? Do you mind?
no, they give you like a because dwarves are warriors and you're a warrior. They give you a good kind of solid nod of approval, big bro nod, and
right.
and they part and you sit down and you drink in kind of good hard drink. Well, you're
No,
sat in
I'm not drinking.
You're not drinking, but they're drinking in good kind of. In good kind of stern, kind of drinking and talking in very kind of matter-of-fact terms to each other. They're having a great time. They're just not really showing it in terms most people understand. So yeah, no, they're having a whale of a time. Great, good food, good drink. That and you're in a kind of subdued corner where people aren't waifooing at you, so you're pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's. I don't know if Eclipse will be able to find me, but that's where I am.
She's an urban bounty hunter. I'm sure she will.
Let me dream.
Yeah, and I know, I know where you will try to hide. So, your hiding place isn't the best hiding place.
I'm sorry, it's her background. She's profiled you. She finds you pretty damn easily. So yeah. For one thing, you're not moving, you're stationary, and you're in the tavern. She finds you pretty much instantly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
This could be creepy if it wasn't for the fact that we knew her very well. She just appears, out of the shadow. Hello, Aiden.
I've been profiling you.
I want to play a game.
I want to dust. Okay.
I'm gonna dance with.
Wow, she went from 0 to drunk in about 6 seconds.
But no, so
that's amazing. That's okay. There's and I try 1, 2, 3. There's a shit zillion people you could dance with.
Yes, but I want to dance with you first. And then I'll go dance with the rest of the people.
Unfortunately, on the way to you, Aiden, she walked past a character that says, Tabaxi has catnip if you have coin.
Khajiit is innocent! You find no
Love you, Bethesda.
I have
Don't sue me.
There's literally a zillion other people you can dance with right now, and I am not in the mood of the dancing, so just take your
fucking
pick.
dance with her, for the love of God. And Farewell walks through the middle of
Okay, fine. I guess dark withdrawn corner has a massive sign or something.
First place you checked, man. You were profiled. First place you checked.
We all know your MO by now. You are so plain, the nose on all of our faces. It's the first place we went to. And oh look, you're fucking here. Get out there.
I am getting called out.
If you wanted to hide, you should have been amongst the loudly singing gnomes, just just miming, But no, it's dwarf, no beard, locked on.
Oh my god,
yes.
I can't. I'm just.
Wait, yes, Eclipse. Well,
Do I have a
grab
choice?
mine. No.
Okay. Why bother?
So I did dance with me for a little bit, but not too long.
You have an awkward dance, and then Cat gets bored, as Cat always gets bored after a while.
Shall we
2
roll
seconds.
dexterity? Shall we roll dexterity or how well we dance?
Dexterity, screw that performance, please.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
There's a
Minus
skill
1.
for this. There is a skill for this. Not often used.
I was hoping we could have get away with just a slightly awkward dance, but you had to make it a roll.
Hey, we
First
don't
roll
roll
of
that
the night,
often.
though.
You've got it. Yeah, exactly. We don't roll that often, so it's good
Fucking
to
hell.
good to roll.
I did well. It's 17 for me.
5.
Okay, yeah. So this is a lot like maypole dancing, and Aiden, you're the maypole. So,
I'm embarrassed.
It's so
you
much
get whipped by the tail a few times. It's a little embarrassing, but it you manage to last long enough that you feel like, right, I've done my bit, and you go, I'm tired, and sit down. So, okay.
Yeah.
So Eclipse, you said you were going to Garrett as well. So Garrett is there. He's currently nesting a small earthenware bowl of some sort of liquor in his hand. It seems to be some sort of cream liqueur with some sort of oil droplets on top. And it's clearly quite alcoholic as well. And he's talking very animatedly to let me get this right. A human priest, a male who is he's got bleach white hair and quite a kindly looking fellow, and they are talking in soft tones and kind of anecdotally talking about life and how wonderful it is that even in such adversity that this is going on. Give me just a quick charisma check, Corinne.
Persuasion?
No, just charisma check.
16.
16, sure. Yeah, you just about recognize this guy. This is Sturgill Dawnrunner. He's the ranking priest of Pelor within the city. You kind of didn't recognize him without his full robes on, but now that you can see, he has got a few adornments that have the child holding the sun, and the child aspect of Pelor is the child of Awe, the ever innocent, and as you get closer, you can see that the belt buckle that he's got on has a bearded man, again, kind of in reds and golds, and his hands are holding what seems to be like a globe, I guess, kind of like a stretched out globe, and that's the father aspect of Pelor. Pelor is the dual aspect god in Illyria, the Everchild, and the father of all.
Cool. I will say hello to Gareth and best make some nice chit chat while the rest of the people can have what they're doing, because it's just random talk at the moment.
Okay. Yep. You get pulled into a conversation with Garrett. They're just two really lovely old guys. They're just getting on with life, and really enjoying the fact that something worse was avoided. They've seen a lot worse, both of them, and they seem to be quite grateful for it. So they're in quite a celebratory mood. Even though there's quite a lot of loss in the city, they know how bad it can be, and the fact that was avoided, and they do explain during the conversation that there were less people killed in Ostergeld than in a regular mortal siege. Normally when mortals go at it, even Duke versus Duke, half of the city would have been wasted. And the city got off relatively light. They're kind of grateful for this. And Sturgill does point out that they will look after those who didn't make it and the families affected by it. But for now, it's a celebration of life.
I'll ask the Sturgill. I'll ask him to keep an eye out for the baby's family. I assume he's already been informed about it.
Yep, he echoes Dusk's words and says that they were all informed, and that the baby will be as well cared for as any child of the city, regardless of station. which you mean is which you know to mean as a bloody sight more than the Freetowners would be looked after, or any of the labourers' kids would be looked after. It's kind of a PR baby. It's not going to suffer. Yeah. Well,
The
she's not
PR
going to-
baby.
Well, yeah, it's a baby that came at a moment of public focus, so it's going to get more privilege than most as a result. Anyone else?
Well, Glory is doing her glory thing, as in she is using everything her life has taught her to puppet master this entire party into being the best success it can ever be.
Okay, give me the yeah, give me a roll of the charisma-based skill of your choice, but tell me which one it is.
Okay. That is a 23 for performance.
Sure. You go into full-on party mode, and you are dancing with people. You're joining in with songs. You're switching from that to perfect conversation, jumping into conversations, and making yourself out to be an incredibly interesting person. You do get the equivalent of getting people's numbers, I guess. So there's a couple of people who stand out. So one of them is Havelra Windsworn. Okay, Havelra or Havelra, whichever way around you want to say it, is quite a muscular-looking figure, and she is the Archon of Cord in the city. She's quite heavily scarred up after the fighting today. You have a feeling that she was in the middle of it. She is an interesting figure, being that most Archons are paladins. This one is just a basic fighter. Yeah, and she trains at the Cord Temple. She preaches at the Cord Temple, but as a lay preacher. She hasn't got any divine power herself, and she believes that that's Cord's way of testing her, and it's made her even more of a zealot. And she's a zealotous fighter. But saying that part of Cord's tradition is feasting, triumphing, and she's, loud, packing away the drink, heralding people, making them feel good about the fact that they defended their city, even if they've got kind of injuries. In fact, she seems to be seeking out those with injuries and scars and bandages on them and things like that, and making them feel good. And yeah. When you start to speak to her, you start calling her by a full name, and she actually says, "Oh no, call me Vel," instead of Havelra, or Havelra. She said, Vel, please." And you seem to have impressed her.
Yes.
Okay, and she seems to be quite an influential person in the city. And you find out to your possible disappointment that even though she's single, she's very, very straight.
Fair
but
enough.
she still thinks that you're great, and gain a mate there, gain a friend. Yeah. The other person that you have managed to get in further with, other than Rachel, who seems to really be impressed with your capabilities, is Celine, the Entertainers Guild. So the elf, who seems a little kind of standoffish, a bit of a lovey. Seems to kind of consider herself a bit of a celebrity. But even you managed to, you even managed to get her to chill out, to have fun. She's still kind of keeping an eye on all the bards and performers that are around her, but she certainly warms to you, and she's normally, as a quite frosty person, very much the stereotypical, kind of lofty elf. and you manage to kind of break that stereotype in her, and she's definitely happy to be around you, and actually spends quite a lot of time at your side.
Ooh.
Do me an insight check.
Okay. Laura is pretty good at insight, and that is another 23.
Okay.
No, 22. Yes.
22, that will still do it. You notice that as you're going around the party, there's, with your usual flirtatious nature, there are certain people who gravitate towards you, some of which you're interested in, some who you aren't. The ones that you're interested in, and you try to, let's say, throw open some doors to some fun later on, you find they don't spend much time around you. They seem to be succumbing to your charms, absolutely, and then they seem to be like further away or walking out the door with somebody. I'm going to cross to somebody, and I'll come back to you. So,
Okay.
Farewell and Cora, what are you doing?
It's up to you, Kate. Do you want to go first? I know there's something I want to do, but if you haven't thought of anything,
you go first, because I haven't got anything specific I desperately want to do. So, see what you do, and that might change things. Who knows?
I want to go find Hobra Winterscribe, because I'm going to pull you all the way back to one of our very earliest episodes.
Yeah.
And follow up on something that I've not been avoiding for 40 plus episodes. Because I'm a responsible adult that really wants to find the answer to this.
I remembered to put my spreadsheet up, so I've got it all here. Because I knew you were going to be in the thick of the city again. So yes, Hobra Winterscribe, you can see that this mostly silver-haired human bard. She's in her mid to late 40s, and a very beautiful person, very well dressed. Clearly a well-versed socialite, and she's walking around, and you do notice that she's still got this notepad at her belt that every now and again she will kind of excuse herself, and in between conversations, right as she walks. Hobra Winterscribe is the master oviate of the city. Oviates are to do with truth. I'm using a word that is from Celtic and Welsh lore, where you were split into druids, bards, and oviates if you were part of the ecumenical class. And oviates in Illyria are all about the truth, recording the truth, finding out the truth. They're equal part historians and lore collectors. And yep,
they're
she is
journalists.
absolutely here. They're journalists, yeah. Good journalists, though. Ethical ones. No fucking paparazzi here. They do exist in Illyria, but the Oviates tend to kick the shit out of them. So, yeah, you find her quite happily, and she says, "Farewell. So wonderful to see you again."
Hi, how are you doing?
All abuzz. You're the story of the hour.
Yes. Yes.
Demon got your tongue?
Something of the sort.
Ah, I see. Well, we're all friends here, farewell. Unless, of course, you want to go somewhere private and be off the record.
Can I just insight check that? I'm going to have to do it because Farewell is so uncharismatic. He genuinely isn't sure if she's coming on to him or not. And so he's going... Analytical brain.
Everyone give Farewell your energy so he can speak.
Or get laid, whichever comes first.
Very pretty lady. It's not his fault his brain goes, Don't put this up.
Shortcuts.
Be cool.
She's a silver fox,
Be
yeah.
cool.
She's got it going on, yeah.
Be cool, bro.
Foot immediately
cool.
gone to mouth.
Yeah, be cool, bro. Be cool.
What's the insight?
19.
Sure.
Oh wow.
You get enough that she is in airs and graces mode, and so she is being flirtatious with everybody. She is genuinely asking, do you want to go somewhere and go off the record? But because she's still set to this kind of quasi-flirting, winking at everybody, kind of smiling at everybody, she can't seem to switch it off at the moment because it's the MO. And you kind of go, okay, so she's not coming on to me. And you check, and she has got a wedding band on her finger. So, yeah. It's just her plying her trade.
Like 50 pounds just came off Farewell's back. It's fucking...
Privacy would help, yes. Yes. Of course. Would be... Shall we? And she gestures into the tavern. Or she also just gestures outside the bounds of the party, but in the street.
The tavern will be fine. It's a little warmer in there.
You go inside the tavern, up the stairs, to one of the rooms that aren't being used. You have a feeling that some of the rooms are being used without Noki's permission, but you find one and close the door, and she walks up to what seems to be just like this little bureau on the side, sits down at the table and pulls out the notepad and says, "Do I need this, or?"
Well, it was more that I was trying to follow up on something we spoke about a very long time ago. If you can't tell, I've been a little busy. I don't recall you remember I mentioned a box, an obsidian one?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I've got nothing as yet. I have asked one of our scryers to look at such a thing, but as yet he said that it is unclear, which is kind of interesting. Normally they either find it or they don't, or they find it and they say that it's a rough direction or whatever. In this case, complete ambivalence, completely unable to determine whether they found it or not. Quite fascinating.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, it could just be that it's warded. Do you remember it being warded? Or it could be in a warded area, Some of them occur naturally.
No, it was rather mundane and we never really bothered. No. Warded area, interesting. Could be.
Yeah. I'd say some places are just naturally warded. It could be in some manor house where they have some sort of non-detection enchantment on there because they don't want people prying into their lives. People like me do exist after all. Not that I'm not a peeping Tom, of course. I have other ways of getting information.
No, of course. Anybody would be interested in this sort of... if you were to ask somebody if, weird, potentially magical, strange boxes, I know, would be the person that would be interested in that. Maybe?
There are planar researchers in the university. They have planar engineers there who keep the university folded up as it is within space. So I should imagine any number of them in there would want to find a box that's interesting and potentially magical. Boxes tend to be a very spatial thing, like bags of holding, except they're 10 a penny these days. Well, I say that, I've never been able to get my hands on one. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's still a lot of people. I was kind of hoping you were like, oh, yes, Grand Duke something pants of the 15th Order likes to keep creepy things in his great big mansion on top of the hill. And
You're describing
goes,
all
"Well,
of
why
the
didn't we
dukes
think-
there.
why
You're
didn't we
describing
think that
all
before?"
of the dukes. Duke Ostermark, Duke Edmund himself, is fairly normal as dukes go, being that all he wants to do is fight. That's kind of normal around here. Just go to a pub, chucking out time, and you'll find plenty of people like Duke Osterveld, just with, it's like the difference between being mad and being eccentric. Money changes a lot of things. Instead of being violent, he's simply ambitious. And there are lots of... there are dukes that are rumoured. Of course, I can't corroborate any of this. Rumoured to collect items of titillation and obscenity. There are others who that like to find things that are rare, things that are valuable, things that are taboo law. Books, certainly. There's a few that like to collect various forms of limited editions. If rumours to be told, there's even a duke that likes to collect interesting biological specimens, let's say, and you can see the distaste on her face.
Nobody abyssally?
I guess the biological side could include abyssals, but is mostly former free citizens, let's call them that. As for things that are rare, things that are valuable, yes, abyssal things turn up. Unfortunately, the origin of an object doesn't stop people lusting after them because they are so avant-garde or whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, it's the nobility, Farewell. They're odd. They collect all sorts of weird and wonderful rubbish.
Yeah. Well, thank you for looking into that for me. I appreciate it.
If you want, I can maybe if nobility's the way you want to go, I could put some feelers out and say that I have a buyer maybe for an obsidian box. That could possibly work. This sounds like something where getting to the heart of the matter is of somewhat, importance. You have got rid of some demons in the city, and you've just suggested that there may be an abyssal link with this box. I'm going to put two and two together and say I'll help you.
I don't want to imply that you won't be cautious or capable of looking after oneself, but if you haven't figured out now, a lot of very strangely dangerous things happen around us, and a little concerned that if you were to do that, although that's the right way, we're talking very high chances of very dangerous death.
Okay, so an average day going into the various places and dens of iniquity that I have to go to get my information. Good. Thank you for the warning.
I understand your bravado and your flippancy here.
Oh, bravado!
I'm being really
bravado,
serious.
Such a word.
I'm trying to be really serious here. You will die.
I shall be careful and keep my ear to the ground. But I shall not actively pursue it if that is what you...
Thank you. I could do without more on my list. Thank you. But I do owe you one, and you didn't hear this from me, but if you are interested in looking at the nobility, you may be inclined to investigate the Duke's soldiers and those strange stones that they keep around their necks when they go into battle. It might be something you would find interesting.
Thank you for the tip. Well, it was very much worth coming here. She gets up, she gets to the door, she opens the door, and there's some people passing by. They stop, they take a look at you and Hobra. She winks at them, kisses you on the cheek, and says, "Thank you for a lovely time," and walks off.
Knows exactly what she's doing. I like that lady.
Farewell will then sit down at the desk and he's got a letter he starts drafting.
Sure.
Simon, before we move on, I just want to bring up a detail that I forgot. Aiden is still walking around with a fucking lich's head.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Banging against your leg. And the echoes of Vincente's words saying, "Take it to Farewell. He can speak with the dead."
To be fair, Simon, that's not on Aiden. That's on me.
Yeah.
Yes.
My memory is bad.
I mean, Farewell will have to do it in the morning because he's got no 3rd level spell slots left. But sure, yeah.
I'm not gonna bring it up to now. I'll probably wait until the end of the party, anyways.
Yeah, might not want to speak to dead while there's a giant party going around.
Yeah. It's like life and soul of the party, animated lich head. Yeah. It takes a lot of performance to pull it off. Normally a double act, So
yeah.
Okay. So if that's everything from this, anybody else would like to do anything, extract anything from the party? Because I've only got a few things, so we can do those.
I mean, I don't need to do loads. I thought Cora is going to she's going to keep an eye out for, well, both the cat and where's my I had it, Lysandra.
I can answer that one now. The cat does not attend the party.
The cat is not around.
Sadness.
Yeah. Is Lysandra around?
Roll me a d20.
Huh. 3.
Lysandra is not currently at the party.
Okay. I mean, Cora's probably just she's going to try and enjoy herself and probably dance away to Bebop a bunch and like, I don't know if we're jumping to anything, but like once it all dies down and things, she'll sort of sit in her room with the music box and start and dig through all, like, thinking through all the day. So she's planning to pull out all the books that she stole and start investigating those a little bit and thinking, I should probably talk to Farewell about this. This is a Farewell thing. This is books. And just thinking about all the stuff that's just happened. And she's probably gonna stare in the mirror a bit at this new look and try and figure out what she thinks of it all. That's
okay.
Just roughly.
You do end up dancing with a ranger, at least looks like a ranger, who you get to know as Bonnie Frostfang, and you both dance quite a bit to Beatba. Bonnie ends up dancing off, kind of losing you and all the rest of it, but you dance about for a bit, and you have a lot of fun. So it's a fun party, and then you go upstairs. You open the music box. The music box plays its music. The figures that are dancing are, now that you look at them closer, they are dancing properly. They aren't like a figurine that's turning around. It seems to be like some animated material. So it's you and Enola dancing along the box. Never been able to leave the box. If you try to grab hold of them, they don't leave the box unless you want to break it. And yeah, this beautiful unearthly waltz-like music, kind of speeding up every now and again into an adagio. Adagio. And being more lively, and then coming back down into a more kind of restful sway, the kind of romantic part, the holding your partner part. And you're listening to that kind of over the top of the music that's upstairs. in your room, and you pull out the 3 books. The one book is the Book of Leadership that you had before. The second is the Shattered Glass, and the third is the Peerage. It's the Phase Peerage, and as you look at it, you can see that there's it's slightly different to a Mortal Peerage book because a lot of the Fae are immortal. And so it talks about scandals and trysts and being the courtesan of somebody, or being the heart's guard, which is what you are, of somebody. So sworn to them through love. There's lots of different terms, and you're kind of deciphering some of it. Some of them are kind of really cryptic, where it uses terms like stepping out and in alliance with, and you're there kind of going, what kind of alliance are they talking about? And then paired with, and you realize there's a lot of terms where they probably have a lot of this etiquette double meaning. They're trying to be too polite in saying what they're trying to say, and as a result, it's kind of a code all of its own. And occasionally it does have births, father of, daughter of, things like that. Does talk a lot about mortal half-children that the Fae have. They seem to be right up there with the Greek gods and the Roman gods with creating demi-versions of themselves. And to your knowledge, this is what Enola is. Enola is the half-mortal daughter of the Summer King, which, from what you can tell, means that she's perfectly qualified to be a princess, but will never be an heir to the throne. She is a princess by birth.
Don't cast the royalty.
Yep.
The Shattered Glass, on the other hand, when you open it up, it says the preface, is the Shattered Glass, being a true and precise account of the death of chronomancy in the plane of Valeria.
Oh.
Sorry, I was on. I need to add my dramatic effect. Ooh, I was.
You can tell by the person who wrote it that they are considered, and this is kind of the ongoing parts of the preface. They're not quite saying they thought I was mad, I tell you. But there is some kind of jabs at the critics of this writer, where the writer is kind of written in the preface saying, though many have scorned my work as the flight of fantasy or paranoia, you will find that throughout this book that I have given great reference to the evidence to come to the conclusions that I have. And you have a feeling that some people consider this author, unnamed, to be a somewhat of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, cool.
And that's, for a casual read, that's about as much as you can do.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to read them. I'm glancing through them at the moment.
So during downtime or whatever, you can say, I am studying this book and I will prepare some materials for you. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So, are we all done with the party?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a finisher, Eclipse will go and dance with Glory or something.
Sure. Okay. You reconnect with Garrett. Garrett tells you that there's a great set of opportunities. He's been talking to scholars throughout the city about these sites, these Juradan sites. And he points to Jacob, who's off talking to a few dwarfs now. And he's saying, I'm pretty sure we can get a good expedition underway. And as soon as we believe that we've found the site, we can call you in to make the great discovery, which, well, if legend is to be believed, it's going to be heavily guarded. So we need you there at that point anyway.
Of course.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Farewell is probably a very quick writer, so he bashes out a small letter of about 12 or so pages. I mean, the first three, the last three are probably like the core of what he really wants to say. Is this is a letter to his, and I've not got my book with me at the moment with all my character names in it, but the dwarven blacksmith that made his armor for him. So it's a very.
That is Gwen Blackforge.
I think Gwen Blackforge to Gwen.
Gwenivar.
Basically, the first three pages are him apologizing profusely in like many different ways. The middle bit is kind of him trying to explain what was going on, but like kind of getting lost in like all of the strange shit, so not really explaining anything that happened whatsoever or even why they were there. Just probably it's a little nonsensical. And the last three is asking her to come to the city, that he was very genuine in that he is pretty sure that they can set somewhere up for her. She could have her own shop, she would be free to do what she needs, and that if this new faith that she has or this new connection to Ione she has is something that she wants to explore, he would be willing to help her take those first couple of steps. And he'll fold that up, put it into his bag, take a walk downstairs, find several bottles of his favourite cherry vodka, and will drink himself into a stupor at the bar. He's going to get very, very, very drunk very, very quickly.
Okay.
Impressive considering you're made mostly out of water.
Which is why it requires a large volume to do so.
By the time I'm finished, I'm going to be a cordial.
Yep. You're going to be mostly alcohol by the time you're finished with that.
Well, considering it's like, you know, he's lucky that it's not one of those alcohols that are like coloured, because could you imagine that with the like the turquoisey green that he's got going on? That would just be like really weird. The more that he drinks, the more that his skin starts to begin to change colour. It's like, you know, you're used to being that.
I hate it now because now I'm imagining a piss-colored Farewell after God knows how many beers.
Well, you're rather fortunate, darling, that he wears a lot of clothes, so you never quite get to see the other areas. So that's the one thing about being a water primordial. You have rather a large amount of control over what's inside.
Yeah.
So, the party comes to its conclusion. Out of it all, Glory, you notice that throughout the party, you noticed before that the people who were interested in you got ushered away. And towards the end of the night, a live, fluidly walking figure walks up to you and starts to dance with you. The hood, which is covering their face, gets pulled back, and it is the serpent blood that you met when you were off to rescue Tristane. As Vetra starts to snake and coil around you, dancing incredibly close to your body, and it's getting kind of. The dancing's getting steamy. You're certainly attracting a lot of attention between the two of you together. With your previous, I'm going to trip off your previous performance check, which was over 20. She dances with you, and you're fairly certain that you're on tonight. And towards the end, as she is actually, just about to go with you to your bedroom, if you so wish. If Glory does, she does kind of come up to you during one of the kind of slower kind of bits, because even Beatber after a while just starts to slow down and hand over to some of the more traditional bards. And as you're dancing to one of the more traditional tunes, a slower tune, this kind of forked tongue does tickle your ear a bit as she says, "Cassandra wants to meet you. After I finished with you, of course." And with that, Glory goes off to do what Glory does. And she leaves the party, and the party goes on into the wee small hours. There are some people that just refuse for the party to slow down, and by the morning, it's a mess, and people are just cleaning it up. But it lasts most of the night. So before we go on to the next day, and we start breaking a little bit into downtime, because it's not adventure all the time. It's unrealistic. I'm going to cut back to Cora momentarily because of the outcome of this thing you started off with. You finish up with what you're doing, and much like everybody else, the exhaustion starts to take you, and you decide to go to bed. You lie down in bed, finally chilled out. The music box is closed, but now curled up almost like a little animal, like a little bear. Eowyn is curled up on there with some scraps of cloth and things like that. Make a little bed, little nest for itself. You breathe, relax, process the highs and lows of the day. Kind of bittersweet moment with the echo of your father. The moment where you got to look at Enola as near equals across this huge seething ballroom. The victory, but also the risk that you've experienced in the last 24 hours. And sleep comes very easily. Which is strange, because you feel animated, wired, almost like you don't need to sleep. But you let yourself just trance out a bit, and sleep comes to you. You open your eyes, and you're in a familiar bedroom, and standing in front of you is Enola. Hello.
Hey.
You're becoming quite the hero, aren't you?
Things are certainly changing. Yeah.
She kind of appraises you and says, "You included. I never really knew if you would take to Father's power when he told me that he was granting it to you, that he found you in some way worthy. It was more than I could hope for. I didn't dare hope for it. That you could somehow become part of my world. I'm sorry, I never intended it for it to be this way. I intended to stay back on Mundus, at least for the length of your life. What would have been our life. I hope you understand that. It was always meant to be that one day you would know, and we'd kind of grow together into that fact."
That's okay.
As you can see, it's a lot to explain.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have listened, to be honest. Would I?
After living amongst the people of Freetown, I can kind of understand how. But the knight has won her spurs. And you're one of us now. And she gestures towards you. Kind of immediately it's communicated to you. You're now a fae.
Huh. Well, that explains the differences.
I like it. Here we become what we are. We aren't what we do. We are shaped by what we do. It's similar, very similar, but importantly different. Everything that you do is what you will become and what will come to you. The limitation of who we are is who we are. So you just have to be what you need to be. Oh, I'm sounding more fey. I've only been here for... How long have I been here now?
2
It would be a year by your...
Oh, yeah,
2
no.
years by your count? Time moves differently here.
It's a year. It's a year. I think it's a year. It's a year. It
It's
feels
a year on Mondays.
longer.
Okay. Here it's... time doesn't really have month, day, year. There's... Sorrow has a different speed to joy, to anger, to... You'll get it. You'll get it. Anyway. The knight has won her spurs, and to the victor the prize. Wait over there. And she suddenly says it with this command. Wait over there.
Okay.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you. And at that point, you feel your shift shroud start to slip over your shoulder. And we fade to black.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Only
got
Cora gets three-blade.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you're a princess, you can tell a piece of fey clothing to fuck off into the corner of the room.
Yeah.
You all wake up the next morning, some hungover, some incredibly refreshed, considering you needed sleep after what you'd been through the day before. Some of you not entirely sure if you slept at all, or not, or both. It's a little hazy. Kate?
Sorry. Could
Mhm.
I because I'm assuming she's not going to be here in the morning. So Cora did want to talk to Enola about something.
Sure. Before you go to your second sleep, it's
Sure.
kind of weird because when you go to sleep, you're in the land of dreams, which is the Feywild. So you
Yeah.
kind of never sleep, but also you're asleep when you're there. It's a thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
before you go to wake, there we
Yeah.
go. You go to sleep and then you go to
Before I
wake.
know
Before you go
she's
to wake-
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're leaving, but yeah, carry on.
Sure.
It's difficult. Feywild.
It's confusing. And Enola, I realize I've not asked this question, and I don't even know if you know the answer. What happened when you left? Was that your father, or was it what I've thought all along? I kind of need to know if it was.
They haven't told you.
No.
No, they wouldn't find those bits important. They're not big on the past. You'll get this. They're not big on the past. They're about what's ahead of them and what they currently are doing. I think it's because they just have so much past behind them. They see it as a waste of time. You're talking about that day.
I just need to know if what I should be feeling about it. Because I've always felt one way, and now I don't know if it was if it was him or her or something completely different. I always had this rage against Ola, and I don't know if that's justified anymore.
When you say the name Ola, your love starts to burn. Literally, flames start to crackle along her skin, and then she reaches out, puts a hand on your cheek, and says, "Let's go back." you close your eyes and you open them, and suddenly your heart is pounding. Sweat is pouring down Taro's face as you're there, dagger in hand, trying to defend yourself from a bunch of brigands. One of the brigands turns around to you and says, "There she is. This one's Taro. Kill the others, but we definitely want her. Right, you little wretch. You shouldn't have been looking into your father's death. Stupid idiot had what's coming to him. Set us back so much. You should be paying us. Come here!" Grabs hold of you. You can feel a piercing pain in your side as his short sword stabs into you. And as you can feel blood welling up in your throat, and suddenly this is punctuated by a scream to the side as you watch Enola go down, but you remember Enola going down in your nightmares, and there's a mortal wound in her chest. She goes down, and as you look at her, her eyes flare with fire, and the guy goes, "What the?" And, you know, he thinks she just has a minor magical ability and starts to go in. You know what's about to happen, but unfortunately he doesn't. And then you look back at the guy who was in the process of killing you, and he goes, "Ola Saraka does not take prisoners." And he starts driving the blade further towards into your body, at which point this beautiful old sword goes straight through his chest, and this familiar voice behind this now dying figure goes, "You called, daughter?" And this beautiful, in this kind of burning, flowing dress, beautiful African-looking fae with burning eyes walks straight up and incinerates the guy who dared strike the princess. And you see the scene that you never saw properly. You see it for the first time. You're on the floor, and your vision starts to kind of waft above your body. Enola gets up, gestures to a guy in the corner. Now that her power is fully restored with a connection to the Feywild, she just, with a flick of her fingers, incinerates another one of the brigands, and she goes, "Cora, no!" Runs towards you, starts cradling you, and goes, "No, no, no." Sorry, Taro. Sorry, Cora back then.
Yeah.
Continuity error. Damn it. Goes, "Taro, no, no, no." Clutching you to her chest, looks up, tears kind of sizzling out from burning eyes, and say, "Father, she's mine." At which point he comes forward, touches you, and says, "You don't know the rage that was in her. When she saw you fall, she thought you dead. I think she can be mine too." At which point he puts his hand over your face, and your whole body starts to ripple as Taro turns to Cora. You just saw your origin story. Congratulations.
Yeah. And my scar, somehow I have a scar. Remember the spell scar. Or maybe it's from him.
That was in the fight.
Yeah.
That was in the fight.
It was.
There is a scar on the side of your head. The brigands were using mixture of magic and melee and all the rest of it. There was a scar, and the scar, I'll tell you out of character, I guess. But if you want the Cora determines it in character, the scar, which is kind of a slightly burn type scar, I believe we said it was.
It's like a lightning ray coming out, sort of like almost like a firework kind of thing.
Kind of firework. He literally just didn't fix the scar because he thought it looked cool. Sorry, this is the king of passion and rage. He has these whims. Well, he kept it because he thought it was cool.
Yeah, and she well, that's why she shaves it to remember that day, so to never forget it.
Yep. And it's still a valid thing. It still, should be something to remember.
It's still part of it, yeah.
That's the day that the Summer King rebuilt your body.
Yeah.
With his power.
That's the day you technically died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
So that means that
Okay.
Aiden and Cora are both in the train that they're technically they died, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did,
Yeah.
because you guys achieved your god tier status.
Level up.
And
Awesome.
only Rodrigo understands that reference.
Hey, you
I'm
do
pretty
too.
sure it'll be explained to
Well,
me.
that is true. Homestuck.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Simon. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for the rest of you, I am issuing a challenge that we haven't done so far, and that is that next session, when we start off, you guys will be doing downtime. So once the party
Planning
settles
needs
down,
to be done.
Yep. Once
Oh,
the
mine is going to be weird.
party settles and all the rest of it, you guys will be doing either scenes. So if there's any specific scenes, research you want to do, Aiden can interrogate his skull. For example, there can be people that you can go and see. I will slip in scenes myself. You're going to be called in front of the Duke. You're going to be called in front of Renata Green. There are going to be other members of the city that will be contacting you because they want in on the intrigue.
Obviously.
But I want you to think of the things that you want to do as well.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So
Thankfully,
I
we
will
got
have
a week.
content available, but you guys have got a week to think of what you're going to do. And looking ahead, unless you guys do something monumentally stupid, I shouldn't do that. It's like a red rag. Unless you do something monumentally stupid, you've probably got a month or two of very little happening. At which point you can go off to side quests and other such stuff.
You remember what we talked about that would happen 2 months from where they currently are in the timeline?
Yep.
So
plan for it.
Is our downtime a month, or is this a downtime leading into a month of stuff?
Well,
let's say for now that you should plan for about a month's worth of
well, it's kind of
Faffing.
obvious what Aiden's gonna be doing for a month or so.
Cool. All right.
Moping, hiding.
Nick, are you
No.
Not drinking.
He's busy.
He's
He's not drinking. He's on the wagon.
Well, we'll see if he falls off.
I said not drinking.
Yeah. Oh, not drinking. Okay. Yeah. You guys have all got things that you want to look into, and this can include going off to one of the Heart of Juradan sites. It can be pursuing some of the other various bits and pieces.
Flirt
Kate
with
has
the
had
Queen of Thieves. Yep.
meeting the Queen of Thieves. Yeah,
Oh,
that is
man.
also a possibility. And there are other figures within the city that I've told you are here that you may be able to get a little more resource or favor with, or more information to start revealing more of the plot. So give it some thought, and it can be equal parts what you propose and what is thrust upon you, because that's the world. That's
All
how it works. Okay?
I'm really thankful we got a week to think about it.
Prep.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I was ramping up to this part here, where I was like, right, if I cut it off in time, I can give you that heads up.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do we
Oh,
need
I
to
hope
say
we don't run into him, Cora.
Am I right in thinking Nick's not here next week? Or did I get that confused?
You are very correct. I am
Yeah.
not here next week.
How dare
Yeah.
How
Outrageous.
dare you?
Werewolf fucking dice.
Yeah, he goes off shopping
Yeah,
again on
and
his own.
I might need to remind you guys that I won't be playing the 14th because I'll be on a train to see the potato.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be mixing it up over the next couple of weeks, but we'll be getting
Yep,
there.
that's why I can chop it up into different downtimes. It's kind of deliberate.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can jump back and forth over that month and do various bits, so that helps. Okay.
All right.
So thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for everybody for watching, and thank you to Minion. Very busy in the chat there. My chat keeps switching off, but we've had
Yes,
we've had
thanks,
Leonette
Minion.
and Snipe and everybody else who's been watching, and anybody who's been watching because you've kind of just rolled over from the Ren stuff as well. Where are we, by the way, Kate? On the Ren...
It says so right here, right now, that we're at 10,000.
I'm not watching that. I can't see it.
I know. We are. I'm just saying it. That 10,874 pounds. We are getting there.
On the way to 11. Nice.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Nice. Yep, I'm not even through my list at the moment. Anybody who's watching this right now and in the future, but before February the 20
February 29th is when we finish.
29th. That's it. Please, signal boost Ren, the girl with the mark. Let's get it out there and get it going. This is going to be one hell of a ride, and we want everybody to be given the opportunity to be along for the ride as well. I'm incredibly excited about it. So, until then, everyone, take care of yourselves, have fun, stay safe, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.